to you as I promised to Moses.
Yes, sir.
And I believe that we're in a season now of possessing the promise. But there can be no possessing until our feet are connected to our faith. It's now time to cross over from one season to another. It's now time to transition from the wilderness to the promised land. Because it's the wilderness that cultivates your witness. But you have to understand that God is trying to get your feet in alignment. You have to walk straight, you have to walk strategically, and you have to walk sincerely. Is there anybody here tonight that can agree with the songwriter that I'm walking in authority? That means that God is in your strut. You live life without apology. That means that God is in your stride. It's not long, dear. I belong here, so you might as well just get used to me. And that means that God is in your sustainability. Because you might have come here with frustration, but you should leave here with some faith. Somebody holler, faith.
Faith.
Because if you would tell the truth and shame the devil, it's hard to be a Joshua walking in a Moses culture. Like an MP3 on an 8-track stereo. Sending an email about Morris Cole. It's like Fresh Prince and Wu-Tang and the Sugar Hill Gang and Rocksteady Crew versus Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole and Joey Bad. It's like Madonna versus Lady Gaga. It's hard to be a Joshua walking in a Moses culture. But it was John Wesley who said it like this: I look at all the world as my parish. I judge it meet, right, and my bounden duty to declare unto all who are willing to hear the glad tidings of salvation. The world needs our witness. We must share our faith. We must answer the call, and we must do the work of an evangelist. Because the distinct features of the Methodist and Wesleyan movement are all needs to be saved. Somebody say all. All must be saved. Somebody holler all. All must know that they are saved. Somebody holler all. But I just have a few questions for this 21st century church. What does our future look like? Where are we going? And have we even started walking yet? The hymn writer declared, onward Christian soldier, marching as to war, like a mighty army, move the church of God. Brothers, we are treading where the saints have trod. We are not divided, all one body. We are one in hope and doctrine, one in charity. Onward Christian soldier, marching as to war. Just look at your neighbor one more time and say, check your feet, check your feet. I have a few questions for this 21st century church. What does our future look like? Where are we going, and have we started walking yet? Because your future always begins with a funeral. The old has to die in order to give birth to the new. In the text, we see God making funeral arrangements, announcing by saying, Moses, my servant is dead. My servant is dead. And for those of you Bible scholars, you understand that God had to kill Moses or let Moses die because he couldn't allow him to enter into the promised land because of his sin, unbelief, and rebellion. Funerals may make you cry, but they force you to move on. You all know Moses. Look at your name and say, he's dead now. His name means son. In the Hebrew, his name means deliverer. Moses. Aborted abortion by Pharaoh. Child of the Nile at 3 months years old. Moses. Beneficiary of foster care by Pharaoh's daughter. House raised but still bred. Moses. A thug and a bad boy in antiquity killed a man. Blood on his head. Moses. Blessed by a bush on fire at age permission by God to lead and appointed to pastor. Oh my God. A stubborn people who took a stick and a stubborn. You all know Moses. We see all have had our Moses moments, called but still faithful. Given up on but still didn't give out. Moses. But in his shadow was a young, inspiring preacher kind of like me who was still wet behind the wheel and the smell of Similac was still on his breath. His name means salvation. Joshua, the type of Christ whose name in the Greek tongue is Jesus. That's a word for somebody. Before God allows something or somebody to mess up your future, he has a way of removing them in order to exalt you. He always has a way of escape. So you need to stop crying over Moses. He's dead. He's dead. He's dead. Now time to move on and start walking with Joshua. He's it. Touch there and say, you it. Sit here and complain and cry and allow your circumstances to cripple you like Moses, or you can obey God like Joshua and arise and walk it out. Just walk it out. Just walk it out.
Walk it out. Walk it out.
My problem with the text is why did Moses have to die before Joshua could arise? I looked at it with my exegetical eyes, and they came over and they showed me that Moses had to die because the residue of his past outweighed the revelation of his future. He had to die because everything can't go with you into the promised land because it will look like an eyesore and constantly remind you of how things used to be. Some bags you have to check in the wilderness because they don't meet the requirements of the promised land. Check your bag. Because John Wesley said, I am afraid that the people called Methodist should exist as a dead set, having the form of religion without the power. We are going through the motion but seeing no miracles. The church is guilty. The church is guilty of trying to resuscitate Moses while rejecting Joshua. The church is guilty of trying to resuscitate Moses while rejecting Joshua. And then we sit here and we act like we're concerned about missing millennials, and while we're fighting over stuff, they're sipping lattes at Starbucks. And maybe the reason why many of our churches are gray and dead is because the majority of our leadership is gray and dying. Somebody say, Lord, Lord have mercy. God always uses diversity to deliver people. John Maxwell said everything rises and falls on leadership. People are always an indirect reflection of their leader. You put a clergy collar on a corpse and put them in the pulpit, watch them bring the light out of the pew. Somebody say, Lord have mercy. Israel was beginning to look too much like Moses' flaws. So God had to change the reflection. Somebody say, change the reflection. Joshua, Moses, my servant is dead. Arise, tag, you it. It's your turn. Let me see what you're working with. Joshua, I know you are young, but you're wise. You walked with Moses. You were so successful. Mentee, arise. Don't need to be scared of failure when God's favor is on your life, because if God has called you to it, He's obligated to carry you through it. It was a theologian, Paul Tillich, who said, he who risked and failed can be forgiven. He who never risked and never failed is a failure in his whole being. Look at the neighbor and say, Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. You must give the next generation a chance. You must. Because God is shifting. God is shaking. God is shifting. We are in the time of transition. Somebody holler transition. And I know that transition is unsettling, but the spiritual landscape is changing, and we must move into unfamiliar territory, and we must do it now. Somebody holler now. Because the text says, Joshua 1:1-2, after after the death of Moses, the servant of the Lord spoke to Joshua, son of Nun, Moses' assistant. The Bible said after the death of Moses, God spoke. Sometimes God had to kill off some things in your life so that other things might live. He said after the death of Moses, God spoke. Sometimes God has to retire some things in our lives so that other things might be promoted. And I want to suggest unto you that the church like Israel have been in the wilderness too long. Somebody say too long. But now is the time to come out of the wilderness and cross over into the promises of God. And that's a word for somebody, because the first thing the text lets us know is that God said that it's time to advance. Look at say advance. Advance. Verse 1 said Joshua started off as Moses' assistant, but he ended up getting the job. Somebody say advance. Because God is calling all of us to bigger, better, and brighter. In case nobody told you today, you are up for promotion. You are beautifully blessed. You are liberally loved. You are necessarily needed. You are alive for a reason. You are stronger than you think. You're going to get over the Jordan, but don't give up. But look at the neighbor and say, start walking. Start walking. God is walking you into, can I help somebody? It's far greater than what you walk out of. You are up for promotion. You have assisted long enough. You have lurked in the shadows long enough. Now God is about to put the spotlight on you and see what you're really working with. You have the wisdom of Moses and the stamina of Joshua. Look at your neighbor and say, you up for promotion.
You up for promotion.
Now all you need, somebody say, all I need is some faith and some feet.
Some faith and feet.
Church here. All I need. That sounds a little better. I wish I had a bigger church. Let's look at the next day. All I need is some faith and some feet. You need faith to see past your pain. But you need feet to stay on the path. You need faith to declare what's coming is greater than what's been. You need feet to walk out your path and progressively move into your future. You need faith to see the unseen, but you need feet to avoid the unnecessary. Because it takes faith spiritually and feet physically to walk out your dreams, stroke out your fear, and shout out your victory. Somebody holler, faith and feet. But the second thing the text lets us know is that God says that it's time to cross over. Somebody say cross over. Verse 2 said, arise, go over this Jordan. The Israelites crossing over the Jordan River was God giving them a sign that if he could bring them across this, that there was nothing that he could not do. And the Israelites crossing over the Jordan River on dry land, because you have to understand, order of the flame, that territory is rarely given to those who deserve it. It's always given to those who are bold and able to take it. Look at me, say, just take it. And them crossing over was really God just flexing his muscles so that all the people of the earth might know that the hand of God is powerful, and there's no other God that can compare with his power. That the God of Israel's enemies was created things. They had no ability to move water or to provide dry passage across the river, because when God does something for you, there's nobody able to get the credit but God. It's because they couldn't give credit to Horus, the God of the sky, Iris, the God of magic, Osiris, the God of the afterlife, or Ra, the God of the sun, or Set, the God of change, or sun, the God of wind, or even Dale, the God of the earth. But I can hear them as they walk over saying, the Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. He makes me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside still waters. He restores my soul. He leadeth me in the path of righteousness for his name's sake. And I shall right here all by myself. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. But how many of you are glad tonight that he prepares a table before the presence of your enemies? Not only do he prepare a table, but obstacle as an opportunity, every setback as a setup, every block as a blessing, and let every detour lead you to your destiny. But the final thing the text lets us know, and I'm going to get out of the way, it says that it's time to start walking.
Yeah.
It says start walking. Verse 3 says, every place that the sole of your foot shall tread upon, God has given it unto you. And you might even be happy where you are. But the lost and perishing, the bound up, the suffering, the demonized, the afflicted needs you. Look at them and say, somebody needs you.
Somebody needs you.
Because you can't love God and hate his agenda. It's time to start walking. Look at them and say, just start walking.
Just start walking.
What is God's agenda? His agenda is salvation of the lost, the healing of the sick, the freeing of those who are bound up. Look at them and say, start walking.
Start walking.
I dare somebody just to stand up right now and look at the neighbor and say, I've been here too long. I've been in this building too long. And the reason you're stagnated is because you're not walking. Look at the neighbor and say, just start walking.
Just start walking.
Is there anybody here